Hello, Aluside. This is Jessie, and I am the host of the Two Sticks and String podcast. I'm so happy you are here today. This is a podcast that's all about knitting, crochet, cross stitch, all the crafty things. It also has a little bit of travel and military life thrown in because I am stationed in Germany with my husband. We've been here for 2 years so far. We have one more year left to go. We are in Bavaria, which is what everyone thinks about when they think of Germany. It is the farms, it's the dirndls and the lederhosen. It's still very prevalent here, and you still see it worn on festival weekends like this weekend is for us. So I decided I would give you some fun facts about the dirndl, and I would wear mine while recording today. But that's all going to be later on in the podcast. It's going to be in the chatter section. So I want to make sure that you get all the knitting stuff first, because I know not everyone is interested in hearing about things like the dirndl or what's going on in life. And that's totally okay. I don't blame you. There are times when I don't want to hear it either. But first off, I want to thank all of my returning viewers for coming back. And I want to say hiya to all of my new viewers. Willkommen and danke for my returners. So, if you want to get in touch with me, you can find me on Instagram at ArmyWifeKnittingLife. You can find me on Ravelry as ArmyWifeKnitLife. Or you can join our Ravelry group, and you totally should if you haven't, by the way, because we have fun giveaways. We have some great people in there, and it's very welcoming and nice, and I've met some awesome people in there, and I hope that you get to meet some too. So, my Ravelry group is the Two Sticks and String podcast, and 2 is spelled out for the number. It's not the actual numeral or T-O. It's T-W-O. So, we have that out of the way. I wanted to talk about a few admin things on my side, and that is we have the yoo-hoo big stash blowout going on right now. It started on May 1st of this year, and it is going to continue going on until May 1st of 2020. Why? Because that is probably when we are going to start getting super busy in my household, because we will be getting ready to move. All of the stuff will be getting packed up, and I need to lower my stash before they come to pack out my house, because I've bought a little bit while being here. Just a little bit. Okay, a lot of it, let's be honest, because I'm not all about stash shaming. I am about embracing your stash. And I'm going to move this light a little bit because it's glaring in my glasses. And now I'm going to have a shadow on my face, but sorry, y'all. You're going to have to live with it. I'm standing up today because it's such a pretty day out, and I just want to share it with y'all. And it's not always comfy to sit in a boned bodice for a long amount of time. So, we are going to get right down into fun things going on. Some cows that are happening. So, there is the August Farmer's Almanac going on with Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal. There is Creature Feature, which is a joint cow between Laura of Crocheting Hoovian and Deborah of Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal. There is the Sock Along for Honeybee Knits. There's also a Knit All the Socks Cal going on in my friend Nikki's group, which is Knick Knack Knits. There is I Like Big Shawls and I Cannot Lie by Diary of a Physicist Farm Gal. There is the Color Cal going on by Melissa. This month's color, which runs from July 15th through August 15th, is purple. So if you knit anything with any purple whatsoever, go enter it in her cal. She gives awesome prizes, you guys. Not kidding. I've won a few of her prizes for different cows before because I participate, not because she's my friend and there's bias, but because I knit a lot and I make sure I post my entries when I can. And she gives great prizes. There is so many going on. So if you are curious, there is a page, a thread in my Ravelry group, and it lists all of the podcasts I regularly watch and the cows that I am participating in. It by no means means that is all of the cows going on, but they're the ones that I am doing and actively participating in, like I'm participating in the Desert Vista Dye Works 5th annual monthly sock club. So you'll see those socks later. But the reason I have not been on is I got really super busy. Last time we were talking, I had said how I was doing so well with dealing with my depression, and my therapist and I were making it work. It was being so helpful, and he suggested that I also go and volunteer and get out of the house a little bit so that I have more interaction with people, because where we live, there's only 5 other American families, and so it can be a little isolating out here. And so they suggested that I go out and I volunteer and I participate in our military community. So I have started a knit and crochet group on the post, and I also volunteer at our craft shop. So that is why I had to adjust to a new schedule, and it has been so hot here, and I like to kip my windows, which is what you see back here, where it's tilted diagonally. I don't like to have them wide open when I record because there can be some loud noises that are distracting. But with it being so hot, I've had to have them wide open to get some form of air in our concrete house, because these houses are made to keep the heat in the winter. And so that also means it keeps heat in during the summer too, unfortunately, which is why you see this enormous fan back here, because that's how we survive the heat. Because in case y'all don't know, for my American friends, air conditioning is not a thing here. It's not. Because normally, and in the past, it has never gotten to the point where it's been so warm that you need one. And if it was only for a day or two during the summer. Well, global warming is real, you guys. And it has been miserable for about a month at this point. You get a few days lull, and then it's back to miserable heat again. We actually had temperatures of 107 degrees about a week and a half ago, which is a world record for Germany. And that's an average temperature in Vegas, you guys. Vegas. We had Vegas temperatures here with no air conditioning. It was miserable, and I wasn't about to record during that heat. But it's cool today. I can have my windows just kipped, so there's minimal sound disruption, and we're all good to go. So I'm going to jump into some finished objects and some whips, and it's going to be a long one, guys. So make sure you grab some handy dandy water, grab your knitting or crochet, sit down and chat with me. All right, so first, we know I'm a sock knitter. So we're going to show off my socks. These were from June. Last time that we talked was a few days before my birthday on the 22nd. It's now August 4th. We have had at least 3 birthdays in my family since then, with my dad's 2 days after mine, my nephew's 4 days after mine, my uncle's 6 days after mine, and my mother's was 3 days ago. So, see, more than 3. But so these I finished up in time for World Pride Day, because I'm a big supporter and ally of the LGBTQA Alliance, and some of my best friends are part of the community, and I always like to show support. I'm going to Pride parades, and I go to drag bars a lot, and I know that's not exactly something that all of my followers are family friendly about, and that is okay. I am a person that wants to support love, and that's it. I don't have to define it further than that. Okay? All right. So this yarn is from Turtle Pearl. It's their stripy toes in their What Do You Mean colorway. And it came with a red mini. And so I used that mini on my cuffs and toes. And I used Knit Picks Scarlet in the Glimmer line, Stroll Glimmer, for the heels, because I felt like they needed just a little bit of sparkle. But as always, these are Toe Up Vanilla Extract socks by Cassandra Rizzardi, aka Rizza Knits. I do 27 stitches on each needle. I use magic loop, one at a time, concurrently knit, and I do a fish lips kiss heel on a needle between a 1 and a 2. Depends on what's free and available, honestly. But if you haven't used the fish lips kiss heel before, you absolutely should. I adore it. It is simple, and the pattern's only $1, you guys. It's well written. It's simple to understand. I can do it without looking at the pattern. I've knit so many socks. I actually counted them about a few weeks ago. I had completed 32 pairs this year so far. So you should join me and make some socks. These are on my Alex Workshop Design Heart sock blockers. Y'all know what these look like by now, so I'm not going to take the socks off. But that's one pair. I'm standing up on my walking desk, so you're going to hear some sock blockers drop. I have these socks knit for my mother. These are by the Miliniedro Polish shop on Etsy. If you want the link to them, I'm more than happy to send it to you guys. Just let me know either in the comments or on Instagram or Ravelry. I'll get it sent to you. This is a Regia colorway, and this is the Christmas sock blocker for her. I love them so much. And they have the size on them, and these have my name. All of these socks are for my mom, for her Christmas box. There are, of course, two. Same deal. All my socks are knit the same. They all have 27 stitches for the people I knit them for, other than one person, and I will show you her socks too. So this is Regia. I don't know the colorway off the top of my head, but it is on my project page on Ravelry. These are also Christmas sock blockers from the same Etsy shop in Poland, but they just have more reindeers than anything else. They're size medium because I decided that I liked the medium blocker more for my socks. Whereas my mom, even though we have the same amount of stitches, her foot is just a little wider than mine. And so it gives hers a little more stretch so they aren't as tight when I put them on her foot. These are Desert Vista Dye Works in her Agatha's Christmas Pudding colorway. This is my July entry because of Christmas in July. They're so cute, you guys. I love these. And of course, I say Merry Christmas because Christmas sock blockers. And the last pair of socks that I have knit are these. This is a size medium sock blocker. I'll talk about it first because these are truly beautiful. I do have these in a size large as well, but again, for my feet, I prefer the medium, and so I ordered the exact same blocker in a size down. And they also say Jessica. But these socks are Knit Picks Felici in the Stormy Sky color, which wasn't this current release, but the release before, I think. If not, it was 2 years. It was definitely one of the two releases last year because it was one of the ones on top at my Felici pile that I have. And the Heels, Toes, and Cuffs are the Knit Picks Stroll, Glimmer, and the Scarlet colorway. So it just added a little bit of sparkle to these socks. These are for my best friend Caitlin's mom. She has seen my mom's socks. She absolutely loved them, and she asked if I would knit her a pair or two. And she said I could knit them in any color I wanted, but I know her. She loves black, white, and gray, very neutral, very monotone in a way. And so I decided to do Stormy Sky. I felt like it fit. And then I chose to do the red because her name is Miss K. We have all lived in Kansas together. We have all lived in Mississippi together. And we travel to see each other regardless of where we live. But my favorite time growing up and when I really got to be super close to Miss K is when we lived in Kansas. And as y'all know, Kansas is famous for the Wizard of Oz and her ruby red slippers and saying there's no place like home. And so I decided that she should have some red for when she misses Kansas and when she misses me. And that's the end of my cheesiness for that. That is all the socks that I've knit since y'all saw me last. That's it. 4 pairs. I know I'm slipping. But that is because I've been a little focused on other things. So the next few things are hats. these hats. I have two, actually I have three of the first kind I'm going to show you. This is the Valdres beanie. It is knit in a Knit Picks Brava Bulky. This is the peacock colorway, and I absolutely adore this beanie. The pattern is made by Indigo Mint Company. It is a paid-for pattern. It's absolutely fabulous. I modified it a little bit. She gives you the stitch count you need in order to make it bigger or smaller as you need, and I made it bigger a little bit after my first one. And so this is my first Valdres beanie. This is my second. This is in the cornflower colorway from Knit Picks Brava Bulky. And then the original one, which is a little smaller than the others. Sorry, my phone went off. Forgot to put it on silent. All fixed. Is this one. So it is a little smaller, which is fine. All of these are going to charity. I'm participating in the Crochet for a Cause cowl, except I'm knitting them for my knit group, and at the end of the summer they're all going to a local orphanage here, and so I'm making a bunch of different sizes, and I absolutely adore that hat. It's quick, and I have a lot of bulky weight, as y'all have seen before, that I need to knit through, so it's all going to be Valdres beanies. The other hat that I've knit is the Wind Chef. This is a Stephen West pattern, and it is also paid for. My hat mannequin is not wanting to cooperate. There we go. And I like it. I know it's technically in the back, but you'll still see it. I like it because it just gives a small detail of interest, and it's perfect for those unisex hats. This is knit in the Knit Picks Shine worsted in the Jade colorway. And this is leftovers from another finished project you will be seeing in a little bit. The other one that I have is Lion Brand Pound of Love in the Evergreen colorway. And again, it's worsted weight, and it's the exact same hat, just different color. You'll see it's also leftovers from a project. And if you follow my Instagram, you know exactly what it is. And my next project, though, that I'm going to show y'all is my Hygge Schlanket, or Hygge. And it's literally just a garter stitch schlanket, which is a shawl blanket, in case y'all don't know. It's knit in Knit Picks Brava Bulky in the cornflower colorway. It took 4 balls to knit, and I have an I-cord edging that I used, and that was my only modification. It is a free pattern, and I will put the designer in the little box below, you guys know. But I knit this for when we are going to be on the bus in Scandinavia later this year. So it's nice and big, it's comfy, it's thick, it's squishy, and I figure it's the perfect thing for when you're on the bus and you're up against that window, which is cold at any time of year, but especially in December. So I have this one knit. I'm knitting one more for my mother because she gets cold really easily since she does not have her thyroid anymore. And so she has a hard time regulating between cold and hot. Some people run super hot, others run super cold. She runs super cold. So I have that. Now I have 3 more finished objects, you guys. I know I've been on a roll. And then I'm going to take a quick pause, and then we'll go into the whips. But this, you guys have seen these and heard about these. Family sweaters for Christmas. This one is my dad's. It is the Flax Pullover by Tin Can Knits. I knit his as the extra large size. You can see some threads here, sorry. This is knit in the Lion Brand Pound of Love. Took 1 and then some skeins, not much, to knit this for him, and it is absolutely fantastic. I, of course, still have to weave in ends because we all know me, and I don't enjoy doing it. But it is done. It is ready to go other than that, and so that is my dad's sweater off of the list. for when they're all here for Christmas. And in case you guys, for some reason, don't know what I'm doing, my parents, my husband, and I are all going to be in Denmark, Sweden, and Norway in the week coming to and a few days after Christmas. We will be in Norway on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And my parents live in Mississippi, where it doesn't really get that cold, and so they don't have any cold weather gear like they used to have when they lived in Kansas. They have no need for it in Mississippi. So I took it upon myself when I noticed that I had a few sweater quantities worth of green yarn in the same, close enough to the same color value to make family sweaters. I decided that's what I was going to do for Christmas presents this year. They're all aware that they're getting them, so it's not a surprise by any means, I promise. I needed their measurements to make sure they would work anyways. But I'm knitting these sweaters for my family. My dad was the first one because I was worried about the fit for him and seeing how long it would take because he's so tall. I wanted to make sure I got his done because the sleeves were going to take 12,000 years to knit. But so his was done first. Let me grab this one. It fell to the floor. This is the second one that I knit. This is my husband's. It is also the flax pullover by Tin Can Knits in the size large. And yes, you'll see that there are holes where I join in the arms. I just need to tack those down and they will be beautiful. This is knit in the Knit Picks Shine Merino Worsted in the jade colorway, just like the first windshift hat that I knit. The goal is I'm going to knit another 2 windshift hats, one out of this yarn and one out of my dad's yarn for them. The other 2 are for charity because I want to have a double brim for the boys in the house because they have to have short hair. Well, my husband has to have short hair. My dad has no hair. And so I worry about their ears getting cold, and I just want to make sure that they are plenty warm. Last finished object, you guys. Y'all have seen it before, but it's been a while. I started working on this when I was in Mississippi visiting my family. Then I came home and I worked on it for a little bit. Then I got tired of that. And I brought it home. And here we go. It is my worsted boxy. Yeah, this is the front. I showed you the back first. But it's my worsted boxy sweater. I knit this in the Karen 1 pound Century Collection black plum color. It took me less than 2 skeins to do it. I did the shorter sleeve version because their short sleeve version goes to like your elbow. But it's super comfy. I haven't blocked it or anything yet, but I adore it. It felt so good to get this off my needles because I started this in December of this year, you guys. Well, December of last year. December. Who am I to leave a project waiting for that long? I don't know. I don't. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. I'm going to grab some water, and then I'll be back in less than 2 seconds. All right, y'all, we are back. I know it was so long since you last saw me. I'm so sorry about that. Gosh. We have 3 whips, and that's it, because you guys saw I finished a lot of stuff, right? It wasn't just me that saw that. Okay. First off, the big whip that I have going on has 1 sleeve and 2 sleeve, and it has the start of a body. It is the Hearthstone by Isolde Teague from the Heart on My Sleeve collection, which is the sweater that my mother and I are going to have for Christmas. And this is knit in Knit Picks Capra DK in the Hunter colorway. I'm currently on my 5th ball of yarn for this one, so it's not doing too badly. And I'm hoping to have it done before the 24th because Stash Dash ends on the 24th. And we all know that I have to beat Stash Dash in my goal because I'm a little competitive. Apparently, you can ask Nikki. When in January, she said, I bet you can't knit 15 things and finish them. What did I do? I knit my 15 items. I said, yeah, I was competitive. Okay, dorkiness and competitiveness aside, I will talk about those cows in a minute. The numbers updates for Stash Dash and Yoo-Hoo Big Stash Blowout, because this section is so short. The other 2 whips that I have are my sock for Desert Vista Dye Works, which is this month. It is the St. Peter's colorway. My Progress Keeper is from Simply Serving, as are most of the ones on my Hearthstone sweater. For those that want to know, I am knitting my Hearthstone with Chow-Goo needles on a size 6, and the cable length is 30 inches. And then you add the 5-inch tip, so it's 40 inches total. My Chow-Goos are a US size 1. I have knit through the heel on this so far, and I hope to get these finished in the next few days, because we all know that I stress when they aren't done. And as Melissa so kindly points out, I stress when she doesn't have hers done until the last day of the month. Please don't do that again. I was about to bite my nails in fear for you. Okay? Love you. And anyways, I have that sock done. And the only other pair of socks that I have currently going on are my Nomadic Yarns Candy Cane Lane. And these are on Knit Picks needles, size 2, with Christmas tree Simply Serving marker. And no sparkle in this one. They're always the same. Toe up, vanilla extract. We know the drill. And I like to have the Nomadic Yarns in the gobstoppers if possible. And I absolutely love them. I started these on the 1st along with Desert Vista Dye Works socks. I don't know why I didn't start these in July for Christmas in July, but what you gonna do? These are also for my mom though, and so the 1st was her birthday, and so I was casting on all the things for her. I cast on the body of her sweater, I cast on these socks, and I cast on this sock. So she's getting some love this month. All right. For Stash Dash, I am signed up for the 10K, and I have to pull up the picture that shows how far I've gotten so far. For the 10K, I have currently knit up 8,848.1 meters. So I don't have too much farther to go. If I can finish my mom's sweater, that should put me over the finish line. But again, that ends on August 24th, so that means I need to buckle down on this sweater and get it done. I'm knitting her the extra large size, so it shouldn't take too terribly long, but I still do need to focus. Otherwise, I'm going to be lost. And then the other thing that is going on is Yoo-Hoo Big Stash Blowout. And as you'll see in my acquisition section later, I've gone down a little bit with my goal of knitting yards used, because my 2 goals for the end of the summer were to have 10 projects knit that were not socks done before the end of summer, and I wanted to have 10,000 yards knit out of my stash, and not just 10,000 yards knit done, no need to worry. I wanted 10,000 yards of yarn knit that were not replaced with more stash. And I've struggled with that a little this month, because I had some great things come in. You'll see in my acquisition section. But my current numbers, if you are counting, please stop. There's going to be some numbers. I am going to show this on the screen too, but so far this year I've used 7,233 grams, which equates to 21,061.6 yards. I have brought in 5,700 grams, which equates to 20,452 yards. And so if you take my usage minus the intake yarn, that means that my remaining totals are grams I have knit up completely out of my stash, 1,533 grams, which is also 609.6 yards. And that works because some of the things that I have brought in for stash over this year have had large yardage requirements or allotments. Like I brought in a skein of Rochspats and Wollmeise. It's only 150 grams, but it's well over 1,000 yards on it because it's lace weight. So I have a few skeins like that have come in that are oversized, which is what makes the numbers like that. So that is what's going on. That is all for numbers. You can resume your counting. I'm going to grab my acquisitions and I will see you in a second. Let's get into stash, shall we? I have had a great month, or I guess you could say not so great month, depending on who you ask, on my stash acquisitions. To me, it's great because I've had some real yarn kindness and I've grabbed some colors that I think are absolutely wonderful and inspirational. I have plans for most of it, but at the same time, I'm frustrated because I want stash out of my house, which is the whole point. But we haven't gotten there yet. But I think you'll see why I picked what I picked when you see it. First off, though, I do want to talk about a stash acquisition that is not yarn related. I put this on my Instagram a little while ago when I got it in the mail, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I wanted to talk about it because I think it's fantastic and amazing customer service, and I've made a friend out of it, I think. So, this beautiful necklace you see here is from Scarlet Moon Design Company. This is an amethyst crystal point with a little bit of, I think it's moonstone for the moon, and it's soldered together. There's a little beautiful star. Ignore my nails, they need to get done in a desperate way. And I love this because it is, I'm not a big crystal healer or anything. I don't know too much about it, but I do find it interesting. And this has come infused with Reiki, and it's infused with good energy is pretty much what Reiki is. It's energy and crystal healing is my understanding. And I got this when my depression was at a really, really bad spot is when I ordered it. And it came in on the absolute perfect day. I was so stressed. It had been rough. I was in a small car accident and I needed this on that day. And amethyst is supposed to be really good for good health. And she has a fantastic shop. I was amazed with the great communication. She's so sweet and supportive and crafty and creative. And I'm all about supporting my crafty, creative friends that make things that aren't necessarily yarn because they deserve love and attention too. Like my friend Logan, who is Stark Child Creations. She has dyed yarn in the past and she's kind of stepped away from that side, but she is doing resin and now she's making resin molds. They're fantastic. You should definitely go look at them if you are into that sort of thing. I don't know what I would do with resin, and I don't need to add another craft to my craft room. It's already full, as you can see. But definitely take a look at this Etsy shop because her pieces are beautiful and unique. She can do custom if you message her and ask, and she's a great friend to have. So make sure you go and pop in. Okay? All right. I also do love purple. It's one of my favorite colors. Green is my ultimate favorite because go Slytherin. But let's get into the yarn because I know that's everyone's familiar territory. So this first acquisition that's going to come in is very near and dear to my heart. It's very special, and I cried when I got it. My friend Bluebell Knitter on Instagram messaged me after seeing my podcast 2 episodes ago, I think, And she said, I want to make sure that you have a beautiful sweater quantity of yarn that's not commercially dyed. And she wanted to do this for me as a friend, as a kind gesture. And hi, I'm Bluebell Knitter, aka Christina. Christy, I should have looked this up before I started to talk. Sorry. But this yarn, the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's got depth and tonality, and I'm going to bring this light up so you guys can see just how beautiful this green is. We all know that green is my thing. And it's so perfect. So perfect. That blows it out a little bit, but beautiful. And there are 8 skeins of it in total. And it is 100% superwash merino 4-ply DK weight. And there's 250 yards to 115 grams per skein. And this, we talked about in the last episode how I was going to cast on the Find My Way sweater by Tristan Molina in my Knit Picks Capra DK in the caviar colorway. Not anymore. That is what this is going to be. This is only 4 of the skeins, by the way. I didn't see the need to bring up all 8 skeins. But that is what this is going to be because it is beautiful. And I think that the depth of color is going to add depth to the sweater. Whereas the matte and complete solid color of the Capra is going to make it lose some of that pop. So that's the first thing. And she sent me cinnamon streusel muffin mix, which is something I can't get here unless it's the holidays, and it's my absolute favorite thing in the world. And best thing ever. If you guys ever want to send me anything, be it for the podcast as a giveaway, something for me, or you just want to do something nice in general, cinnamon streusel muffin mix is the way to my heart. Or owls. Okay? All right. I always do that. Sorry. I just want to make sure you get what I'm saying. Owls and cinnamon streusel muffin mix. That's all I need because I can't get that here. My next skein of acquisition is Nomadic Yarns in the Draco colorway because Slytherin. How do I not get a Slytherin character's yarn? Really. This is her twisty sock, which is 400 yards to 100 grams, and is an 80-20 superwash merino nylon. I'm going to say this because hopefully she does the socks for Dobby Cal in the near future, and I'd like to participate in it. And that'll be one of my skeins that I use for it. Next skein is Luna Pearl Yarns. And just in case y'all are wondering, the color that's showing up on the screen is much more dull than what it actually is. This is like highlighters in a skein of yarn. This is her Supernova colorway, which is a self-striping sock yarn. It's 464 yards to 100 grams, and it's a 75-25 superwash BFL wool and nylon. Luna Pearl Yarns is extremely hard to get your hands on, you guys. And I didn't get one skein, but I got 2. One is for my friend Natalie, because we were talking when Luna Pearl updated the shop, and for some reason, she was super slow getting to it, whereas I had it right up, and I got 2 before they were gone, and within a few seconds after I checked out, her shop was empty, and I was there within the first minute that it was updated. My next yarn is Nomadic Yarns in the Astronomy Tower colorway. I paid for it to be caked up because I'm about to go on a trip, and I like to have sock yarn ready and easily accessible for when I go on all of these trips, since my future is going to be a little crazy hectic over these next few months, but you'll see that in a little bit. The next acquisition came from Simply Serving. We all know how much I love her. This is her card. We all know that I have a stitch marker or two from her. But I got her Woolly Wizards and Witches Progress Keeper 2-Charm Mystery Club. And this is her first installment, and so it came with this little cute letter. And you unfold it. And you had to submit what your house colors were with this first installment. And she made it like this cute little Hogwarts witchcraft and wizardry acceptance letter kind of thing. It's absolutely adorable, but it's the Woolly Wizard Academic Board. So we go to Woolly Wizards Academy, in case you didn't know. And here's the adorable box with her little logo, the sugar sheep, and, well, it's a ram, but with a little wizard hat. And the first charm that everyone got the exact same is the acceptance letter. And then the one that changed between houses was the sugar sheep, and it has the house colors on its scarf. And as we've said, Slytherin, so it's green and black. Let me turn on this light and hopefully you'll be able to see it a little better. I doubt it, but there we go. You can at least see the stripes, right? Good. And they all came in this adorable little moon and star pouch. So I'll put these back. I did sign up to get the next month, which hasn't come in yet. She hasn't shipped it yet. I think it still might be in stores for another day. Not 100% sure on that though. So go check. And I don't think it's too late for you to get in if you want to. So if that sounds like something of interest to you, go to her Etsy shop and we can be Simply Serving buddies. And no, I am not sponsored by them. I just really like her Progress Keepers, so I have a lot of them. Surprisingly though, those are the only ones that have come in since my podcast last. There we go. Sorry, my letter's being a little pain in the behind. Okay, getting to the end of this. I have this Stroll Tonal Mini Pack. This is the aquarium color set. And I'm going to stick this with a gray most likely, or maybe even a plain white yarn as the main color, and I'm going to do the Joker and the Thief Shawl by Melanie Berg. So see, I did pretty well this time around with the Knit Pick summer sale, and everything that I purchased is purchased with a project in mind and planned for it. I also got this Knit Picks Chroma. This is black, which is a singles yarn, but it's worth it. This is the black colorway, and this is Vermont. Yes, Vermont. And these are going to be used to make an Alaska hat, or two, depending on how much yarn is used. Then the last acquisition that I have are these three colors. Let me put them in the right order. Actually, we'll do it like this so you can see how they all touch each other. Here we go. This is Knit Picks Gloss DK in the Kenai colorway, Robot, and Bordeaux. I'm going to make a Tecumseh with these. Robot, this gray is going to be my main color. Kenai is going to be one of the contrasts, and Bordeaux will be the other. I don't know which is which, but I have more skeins of the Kenai than I do the Bordeaux. So it's probably, honestly, the shields that take more yarn, I would think, because they're bigger. But I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on it. But so that's all of my acquisitions. So for me, that's not too terrible. It's just those two sweater quantities kind of put me over. And I did order a sweaters quantity from Melissa of Honeybee Knits. You should also check out her shop because fantasticness. We all know I love her yarn too. And I got a sweaters quantity of the Saturday morning sweater that's coming in. It's already been shipped. It's just not here yet. And I got it in mint leaves, and flagstone. So next time I record, it should be here. But until then, I'm going to, of course, take a quick break, and I will come in with life chatter and fun facts about a dirndl. So I'll see you then. All right, we have reached the last portion of our podcast, which is the chatter section. It's going to be a little short, so no worries. I haven't really been doing much besides the craft group and volunteering. So that's been my life most days. We are going to be in Cologne this coming weekend. We were given an extra 4-day this month, and the hubs and I are going to drive to the other side of Germany and hit some of the museums over there. Cologne is where Eau de Cologne comes from. So we're probably going to definitely hit that museum. And there's also a big Gutenberg museum there who is famous for printing the first Bibles on a printing press. And I've seen one of the Gutenberg Bibles, but it was in Belgium, not here in Germany. But so I wanted to talk a little bit about the Dirndl and Volksfest. That's kind of all I wanted to talk about in this little section this time. So first off, I'm wearing a dirndl. I'm going to lower my desk. You're probably going to hear a little bit of noise. All right, I'm short, in case y'all didn't know. All right, this is a dirndl. It is consisted of a blouse, the white part, the dress, and then there is also the apron, which I love mine. It has this nice little trim on it. It's really pretty. And the bottom of my skirt, there we go, has all of these pretty ribbons. All right, that way you don't see anything you shouldn't. But this is the traditional feminine outfit for people in Germany and Austria and Switzerland. It was what peasants wore way back in the day. It's also very commonly still worn here in Bavaria, especially among the older generations if you're farmers, or it's also big for the tourism factor. Or it's also worn for special occasions like a Volksfest, like what we're having this weekend, Kjøvas, which is a church birthday celebration, and it's also worn to weddings and funerals. So it's sort of like a Scotsman wearing a kilt to the wedding. The women would wear their dirndls, and the men would wear lederhosen, which are these deer hide pants that have suspenders, and there's a little brace here that has pretty embroidery on it. But this is a traditional dirndl, and where you place the knot on the apron makes a difference. I have mine tied towards the right side of my body because I'm married, as y'all can see. If you tie it on the left, it means that you are single or available. If you tie it in the middle, it means you're mysterious and people have to talk to you to find out. Or if it is tied in the back, you're a waitress because you don't want this to get caught on your trays. And so pretty much I'm wearing it because, again, it's Volksfest. Mine is gingham, brown, and turquoise. There is some boning in here, but we're going to bring it back up now so you can get a nice look at my jewelry. I kept it a little simple. I'm wearing Edelweiss earrings and an Edelweiss necklace. And the Edelweiss is a very traditional flower here. You find it in the Alps a lot. I love the song Edelweiss from Sound of Music. And it represented a lot of things, especially in that time, for peace, and it represented your homeland. The line in Edelweiss is, Edelweiss, Edelweiss, every morning you greet me, small and white, clear and bright, you look happy to me, blossom of snow, may you bloom and grow, bloom and grow forever. Edelweiss, Edelweiss, bless my homeland forever. Not the best singing, I did it quick. Not really trying hard. Okay, anyways, beyond that, They are found at the tops of the Alps, and so you have to travel to get these beautiful flowers. And it's also, when we go stay in Garmisch, Edelweiss is the name of the army hotel that is there. And you can find Edelweiss everywhere around there. A lot of traditional German jewelry or touristy things have Edelweiss on them, but I think they're pretty. And so that's kind of all that I have about fun dirndl facts for you. Most of them are worn below the knee, especially in olden times, before they lost their popularity during World War II, because you kind of didn't want to identify as German at that point. Understandable, right? They didn't get back in popularity until 1990, and then that's when they had all these new styles come out that were dirndl-esque. And this is more traditional in style, though, is to have it below the knee and to have some of your chest covered. Not all of it, but some. And you also used to, depending on what region you're wearing it from, in Switzerland it's used way differently than it is here, but they've always been used to dictate marital status for women, which kind of rubs me the wrong way, because we all know girl power, feminist, and I don't think that what I wear should dictate to you whether I'm available or not. I think you should have to come and ask me. But I know that times were different then, and it used to be like if you wore a red pom-poms on your hat or on your dress somewhere, it meant you were unmarried, versus a different color meaning you're married or widowed or divorced. And so that's just kind of what it is. Volksfest, though, is a town's traditional, like, traveling fair, fun fair. It happens once or twice a year, typically once, though, and it always happens at the same time every year. It's a very special thing. It's also used as a beer or wine festival. The one that we are going to is the German-American Volksfest, because we are here as Americans, and Grafenwehr has this huge festival every year. So we're going to make the trip and go participate and make some connections with some of the local Germans that work on the American post here. And maybe we will have some schnitzel or a good beer for the hubs. Not for me. I don't drink beer. I drink wine. Or I will have a Radler, which is beer mixed with lemonade. It's sort of like a Mike's Hard Lemonade, but stronger because it's German beer. Or I will have a Cola Weissen if one is available, which is beer mixed with Coke. But that's about it for my beer taste. But so that's kind of what it is. If you imagine your regular traveling amusement fun fair in your town, where they bring in all of these little rides and you have stands with fair food, that's what this is, just with German food instead. And typically in the States, you can buy a ticket that'll get you on for 3 different rides in the fair, or you can get the wristband and it gets you on every ride unlimited. Not how it works here, because each ride is owned by a different company, so you have to go to that ride to buy a ticket. But there's also fun competitions that happen, and that's kind of it for me for this week. I know it's been a long time, and so I should have more, but I've been so busy with these sweaters and volunteering in the new knit group that I haven't done much else. My mom will be coming in November, so keep an eye out for that. And we'll have fun travels then. So until next time, do what makes your heart sing. For me, that's 2 sticks and string. See ya! Hey y'all! Surprise little additional clip from the next day. I was informed that I have not shown enough love to my awesome girlfriend, Kim Goody. So you are wonderfully awesome and perfectly made, Kim. And also, bidet.